So as I continue with my DCEU rewrite series, I'm just going to be doing a bunch of unique stuff because I'm slowly running out of DCEU stuff to rewrite. So for a unique story, let's talk about Static. There's already a really good fan film and the animated series, but how I would do it, Virgil Hawkins is a fun-loving teen living with his sister and his dad is like played by the guy who originally played Static. And he's got a best friend named Richie. And because it's a newer thing, we can actually talk about how Richie was and has always been gay. So he has a boyfriend named Derek who runs track, and Richie helps him with his math, and Richie's dad hates him. And they live in the city of Dakota in Nebraska, which is totally not like Chicago and Toledo. A diverse city of industry that all the jobs moved away and it's now a little worse. But Paris Island nuclear power plant reopened, and Virgil's dad's really excited about that, yelling that that's why he voted for Lex, he's bringing jobs back. And Virgil's like, Dad, you do know the reason the plant closed down 3 years ago was because of Lex, and focusing more on coal, which is a lot worse for the environment. His dad's all like, yeah, well now he's changed his mind, he's helping out the community, this is why I'm voting for him again, now get your stuff and get your butt to school. And Virgil comedically shows up to class like very late. Then in the hallways, he's getting harassed by Francis Stone, because he sees Virgil wearing a Malcolm X hat and he like slaps it off his head saying, come on man, don't you know that Malcolm's far more racist than anything? That X should stand for Lex. And it goes a little like,
The president said that immigration is poisoning the blood of America recently. Do you agree with that?
Well, in some cases, they don't. I would tell all the immigrants that are coming in here to vote Republican, because if they don't, they won't have nowhere else to go, because their country's going to be like our country, be like the country they came from.
It's just I believe it's allowing more criminal activity to take place. You know, it's really important that people are vetted that come into the United States so that we don't have the terrorist activity that we've been looking at, and our country is just kind of going astray, you know, like then there's going to be different viewpoints and things like that, where other countries, they don't have the liberties that the United States has, and we don't want to live like those other countries. We want to have our freedoms and liberties that we have here.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it is, because it's kind of poisoning the pool instead of being in where they can make the same wage as everybody else. Some of them are undercutting that. So we need people that wants to be here, wants to come in the right way.
So you don't want to let them in, but if you let them in, you want to give them the vote.
Well, well.
But Francis gets fed up with Virgil, so he starts fighting him. But then the fight gets broken up by Wade. And Francis tries deflecting, oh, of course, two black guys are ganging up on the white guy. I was just trying to defend myself. You know, whatever, screw this. I'm gonna be in science class and deal with this shit. Virgil gets his hat back and he tries saying thanks to Wade, but Wade says that's his freebie. If he wants to get defended again, he's gotta join his gang. Virgil thinks nothing of it, but when he has to sneak away after school from Francis, he decides to join anyway. And at first, it's alright. He's getting defended from bullies. He can say all the smack he wants and no one will care because he's got people who will fight for him. But it quickly goes south because Wade gives Virgil a gun, because they're going to go rob some people dealing with kryptonite out behind the Paris Island nuclear plant. So later that night, Virgil goes there reluctantly. There's a bunch of other gangs there, including Francis. It quickly erupts into a turf war. Virgil's like sneaking around and he's thinking if he should actually shoot Francis, but he throws the gun away and runs. Inside the nuclear plant, they're irradiating kryptonite, turning it into red kryptonite. They have like a big stockpile of it, and one of the scientists inside are like, it's time to continue Operation Babel. And he like seals away into a safety room. All the other scientists are like, what? As one of the kryptonites explodes, and suddenly they start rapidly growing into giant geodes. Outside, the police arrive at the scene, but suddenly the red kryptonite erupts out of the building. Giant shards are like everywhere, and like one snaps off, crushing someone, and a bunch fall into the water. And suddenly everyone starts like coughing and like mutating. The next day, Virgil wakes up and he's got like really staticky powers. We see on the TV his dad watching. Lex News special report. The recently reopened Paris Island nuclear plant has suddenly erupted into giant crystals. Very early in the morning, residents report a loud bang sound. having immensely negative effects of anyone caught anywhere near the blast, and some reports are even saying that much of the crystals have ended up in the Missouri River. The new worst environmental disaster in United States history, and what many locals are referring to as the Big Bang, due to the bright red light the crystals emit, especially during the event. Many residents are protesting, saying that the government knew about what was going to happen and wanted to use the locals of Dakota as their guinea pig. Then Virgil quickly runs over to Richie's to show him his powers, and they think this is super cool. And we basically do get a montage that's recapping the first episode in the animated series, and we see Virgil slowly develop his look into Static. And the montage also shows Static dealing with some mutants from the red kryptonite known as Bang Babies, such as Rubber Band Man, who claims that Ice Cube ripped off his song, and Ice Cube tries locking him in a safe, suffocating him, but Static ends up showing up and freeing him because Ice Cube did steal his song. But it gets weird when Rubber Band Man tries suffocating Ice Cube, but Static stops it. Then Static has to deal with his parents, and then Richie's dad.
Jesus, kid, don't sneak up on me. Dad, calm down. This is my friend Virgil. He's been here all night. You know, your hair kind of reminds me of that Static guy.
Oh, I kind of modeled it after him, so, yeah.
What kind of name is Static, honestly? He sounds more like a rapper or a gang member than a hero.
Dad. I don't know. He seems to be helping a lot of the poor community. I don't know. He seems like a good guy to me.
Right, and Martian Manhunt is a part of the Justice League.
He is a part of the Justice League.
God, they're letting aliens in now? What does this world come
Daddy,
to?
Stop. You do know Superman's an alien, right?
Yeah, but there's something different about him. I mean, in my eyes, he's always been a true blue
What do you
American.
think about the Black Green Lantern?
There's a Black Green Lantern now? My God, they don't even want to work regular jobs. How are they going to be superheroes?
Virgil, I'm so sorry.
I mean, what has this world come to?
Now.
So Richie found a new place they can hide out in that's an abandoned gas station. And then Virgil hears about a new Bang Baby. It's like a total electric monster thing. But it also seems like he's just running away from everyone. And he comes in contact with some shadow guy. And then later Richie questions as Virgil's seen Derek. But then Richie is acting a little crazy because suddenly he starts becoming like super smart and he's like inventing weird things. Virgil's like, alright, calm down, Michael Hull Jr. Before you create a new terrific tech, I think we have to discuss you might be a Bang Baby. And Richie's like concerned because he was nowhere near the Big Bang. And then they start realizing maybe most people might be affected now. And later when Virgil's out on patrol, he gets jumped by a bunch of Bang Babies.
Relax, hero. We just wanted to get your attention.
He gets grabbed and pulled away by Shadow.
Man, talk about your last stop.
It serves our needs quite well. Call me Ebon, master of shadow and darkness.
Not very modest, are you?
No time for modesty, hero. Talent. He's our little turtle dove. Then there's Shiv.
Shiv is like messing with Virgil.
Shiv makes light energy weapons.
Rubber Band Man joined them, and he claims to be a better Plastic Man.
And this is our latest recruit, a powerhouse of ionic energy, Destruct. He's a little shy at first.
So, you bring me down here for a meet and greet?
More like a proposition. Join us. We're a new breed, the meta breed.
But I think I'm out of your species.
The gas didn't mess up your face doesn't mean you're not a freak like us.
Yeah, they call us creatures, monsters. They force us to go underground. Take Destruct here. Up there, he was an outcast. But with us, he's found a home. Right, Derek?
Derek?
So, what about my offer, hero?
I don't play well with others.
You think you're better than us?
Temper talent. He needs time to think about it. I warn you, Static. If you're not down with us, you go right to the top of our list.
So Virgil tells Richie about the meta breed. And Richie jokes that they're some kind of like ex-people or whatever. Then Virgil tells them that they might have Derek. And then they go to Derek's place to see if it actually is the same Derek they're talking about. As the audience sees that Derek is struggling to come back and forth between the electric form. But Ebon assures him that up there, man just wanted to use you, see you run, just to take away what you're good at because you couldn't do any of their dumbass memorizing. But after today, you'll show them your true power, Destruct. They head surface side and then knock over like a money truck into a Dick's Sporting Goods. Static is on the scene. He tries convincing Derek that he doesn't have to do this, but Ebon tries telling Destruct that he has to do this, so he blasts Static and seemingly overcharges his electricity, and they make it out with the money. Richie finds Static, and he's like all fried. He also takes the opportunity to get some gear and becomes, well, gear. After some sleuthing, they find out they're hiding out in Milestone subway. They try convincing Derek that it's okay, and Richie still loves him, even if he's a giant electric thing. Ebon finds them, which leads into a fight. But Static and friends get onto an old subway, which he causes to go because of his electricity, so the Metal Breed chases them. But during the chase, Rubber Band Man actually helps and knocks away Talon and Shiv, saying that this is Static's freebie for saving him from being suffocated as he bounces away. But Ebon chases up and tries swallowing everyone with his shadowiness. But Derek uses his electricity powers to start up the lights in all the subway station and banishes Ebon away because of Shadow. So now free, Derek decides to give himself up to the government to see the effects on red kryptonite on people. Calms down enough to turn back to normal, and him and Richie have a goodbye kiss, which is then broken up when he turns back into electricity and accidentally zaps Richie, burning his lips. Virgil and Richie fly off triumphantly on a trash can lid and a jetpack. The Metal Breed reform and now they're down 2, but they might actually be up 1 very soon. And the end credits are a recreation of the Static Shock theme song intro. In a post-credit scene, we see Professor Pig, and he says to his client he finally has his face ready. He undoes his bandages, and we only see a lower part of his mouth as he starts laughing. Professor Pig asks about his payments, but he gets shot in the neck by a dart. The patient puts on his mask, and it's Owlman. But what do you guys think? You think I could have done any better? Do you like Static Shock? How would have you done this any different? Let me know in the comments below. And when you're down there, make sure to smash the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're new.